Okay, everybody, and welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff Tips. Another cool kind of strap highlight from you from the brand Artem. A little about them. They're founded out of Adelaide, Australia, and they're the producers of the world's finest sailcloth strap. In terms of the particular strap we'll be checking out today, it's actually a new top-of-the-line premium strap offering that they consider their finest option to date, crafted with a premium FKM rubber base and layered with their signature synthetic embossed sailcloth material on top. This is known as the HydroFlex, and it is meant to be a truly luxury level strap option. And with that luxury level of fit and finish in terms of its execution, it also comes with a luxury price tag of $218 direct. Yes, $218. I know that is not super affordable or cheap by any means, even if you have pretty expensive watches, but I will say there actually are much more expensive straps out there, and many of them really don't claim to be the best at anything. They're just very expensive. While I do think they make quite a bold claim, and I only have one hang up for these straps in terms of why they're not perfect, and it is completely personal, but definitely let's shelf that for now. And if you haven't seen, I actually did a little bit of, I guess, a preview where I had two of these straps, kind of showcased them. But now, since I have all four colors, big shout out to Artem for getting me all of these. I can actually give you kind of a more in-depth range covering review, as well as discussing that Richard Mille style deployant clasp option, which I do have here to showcase for you guys. So with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom the camera out, get these pieces in hand, and take a closer look. Okay guys, so four different color options. As you guys can see, we do have gray, we have green, we have black, and we have blue. And the standard buckle is really outstanding, guys. Check out the fit and finish on here. Let me give it a quick little wipe, because as nice as they are, of course, when you have nice finishing, you're going to notice when there are fingerprints. So check that out, guys. Beautiful high polished beveling, super fine hairline brushing, definitely commensurate with the luxury level of watches that you would probably want to pair these with. So really fantastic and very traditional in terms of that tang buckle. And these straps all come with these buckles. So even if you do decide to option up to that Richard Mille deployant style clasp, you'll still get in a little baggie one of the finest tang buckles I've honestly ever seen, fully milled. Just gorgeous, guys. Check this out. Let's just breathe that in for a second. Even precise down to the edges of the little finger that extends. Nicely signed, beautifully finished, guys, and really absolutely gorgeous. So we'll go ahead and lock that back in. You guys can see you're also going to get these FKM keepers. One of them has a little mounting section for it to be fixed. The other will be floating and adjustable. You're also going to get quick release spring bars, which are going to be included versus on their premium sailcloth straps, where it's an option. You can option in or option out in terms of your own preferences. And you know what? I've actually had quite a few hybrid straps. I think the idea of the hybrid strap is definitely a fantastic option. It's giving you that comfort level and the water resistance of something like a rubber strap, but then giving you also the versatility and fantastic textile finishing of a more kind of fabric oriented strap, even getting really beautifully done stitching there. So the other option for here is going to be this Richard Mille style deployant clasp. And the nice thing about these clasps is that they are actually they kind of, I don't know what the word is for them, self-loading almost. Like they have their own, basically their spring fit. So this is essentially like a leaf spring. So when you put this on your wrist, you would just set one side, it just wants to hold it, then the other side, and then essentially, of course, you'd want to run that through there so that you tuck everything away quite nicely. And it's a really comfortable thing. Of course, you do have to be careful for pinching You get this to focus here. Of course, it wants to look at that gorgeous Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot, but we'll get to that in a second. Of course, you want to make sure that this isn't going to be pinching on your skin, but that is just part of the design. It has nothing to do with the particular execution in this case, which is absolutely top notch. One thing also you'll notice is that it is screwed right into there, so you're not going to be getting any additional wear and tear over these nice holes. And you can see, of course, all ventilated, beautifully signed, and even gives you the information in terms of the sizing and the taper. So very nice, 20 millimeter, and then tapering down to 18. And yeah, it's very nice. Now, the star of the show here. So I do have this mounted to my older Oris Big Crown Pro Pilot. This is before they did the 3D block indices, but also, it's before Oris started becoming super expensive. So, I mean, I was able to get this on Joma for well under $1,000 many moons ago, and I would say that's not necessarily the case for most Orises today. Screw down crown, nice 41 millimeter diameter. I don't have all the specs offhand, but this is just a really nice versatile watch, and it just has a nice premium effect to it, but it's also quite versatile. So I think that it pairs really well with this particular strap. So you guys can see everything buttoned up, and this nice green colorway just looks fantastic. So we'll go ahead and open it up. You can see all I did have to do there was pull. Actually, let me just go ahead and get this off camera there. And essentially what I would do to mount this strap, first I would get this side down, right? And then I'm gonna flatten that out, find the spot where I want it to lay on my wrist. And there you go. And then that little bit of tail left. Of course, I do have a 7.5-inch wrist, guys. So that is where we get into my one thing that would make this strap perfect. We'll you know what? We'll table that for a second. But look at this. Lays beautifully on my 7.5-inch wrist. Nicely, wraps. Super supple. You don't have to break it in or anything like that. You know, it's like a rubber strap, right? Which is very nice. And it's, again, extremely versatile. Of course, if I get my wrist a bit too close to the camera, you're going to get a bit of a skew in terms of that perspective distortion. So what I like to do when I have it on wrist is just go ahead and lay my wrist down nice and flat, and then just tighten up the frame here so you can get still a detailed look, but maybe a bit of a truer aspect ratio of how this might sit on your own wrist. And you guys can see it's very nicely centered. Really showcasing how beautiful that strap is. I mean, man, and the strap isn't showy, it's not blingy, it's not some special type of lizard grain that's gonna be glossy and capture anyone's eyes. It's really all about the fit, the construction, and they do it really, really well. But one thing you've probably noticed is that I do have all of these adjusted towards the very end of their width, and I have a it's a larger wrist at 7.5 inches, but it's relatively round as well, and I have to say that there's just not enough room for me using the current spec. I mean, it's borderline essentially to where I can just get that last sliding keeper right over the tip and secure that. Same goes for even when I'm using the standard tang buckle. If I just had a little bit more length, I'd feel more comfortable wearing this strap. Now, and that's the only thing that, in terms of that's more of a personal comfort, not necessarily comfort on the wrist. In terms of comfort on the wrist, I mean, this is really one of the most comfortable straps you can buy. And remember, how supple a strap isn't always, the indicator of quality, at least not for everyone. I enjoy a nice, soft, supple strap, but some people, for some of the straps I've reviewed in the past, they've tried on certain ones that are really nice, soft, and supple, and they say they don't give them enough structure. They feel like the strap is too soft, like it could tear easily. I get that type of feedback a lot on my genuine Tropic rubber strap reviews, where some people just don't like how flimsy or soft they feel. For me, I really enjoy the comfort. Here, you're going to be getting that beautiful, supple comfort, but feeling absolutely reinforced and, very secure on the wrist, which is very nice. Even for a heavier pilot's watch like this, a real tool watch, So for me, if we could just get that length a little longer, the strap length right now, currently being a one sizer, is going to be 115 millimeters on the long tail side, and then on the buckle side, only 75 millimeters. For me, if they made an 80 millimeter side with a 120 millimeter, which is pretty standard for other brands, I would say industry standard, that's pretty close to it, and that just works for me. So that would be my one critique on how these could be even more perfect, would be just to give you a little bit more length, just so I could feel, you know, a little bit more of the traditional use case in terms of, you know, having the strap keepers really I mean, really, you don't even need the second keeper if you have a larger wrist, because it's not like that strap's going anywhere, that tip. So that's just, for me, again, it's personal. And if you have a smaller wrist than me, and I have a 7.5-inch wrist, which should be about to 19 centimeters or so, you know, probably a little bit more give than take on that. But about slightly more than or equal to 19 centimeter wrist, you know, this is going to be, you know, borderline fitment for you, right, as well. Even though there's a couple holes left, nobody really wants to be on the last couple holes, on the last 3 holes. I would really love it if I could be, you know, somewhere closer on there, maybe, you know, using it towards the center kind of punch option. And, you know, I get it. If you have a smaller wrist, this size is perfect. I don't want them to get rid of this size, because I think there's a lot of people with smaller wrists who would love straps to not have all the extra tongue hanging out on the end. And I understand that's probably why they did this length in the first place. But I'm hoping they do eventually offer an XL width there. So, you know, that's my plea to Artem. If you guys are watching this, guys, I would love to have this in a more standard or extra large size length. That would be, you know, 80 by 120 in terms, but everything else in terms of the fit and the finish, the feel, I mean, you just can't argue with the quality here. And again, not for everybody. And you know what? Luxury timepieces aren't for everybody either. There's plenty of people that will say, hey, just check your phone. And if that's what you believe, and you're okay with a Casio or a Timex, or, you know, a Seiko 5 or an Orient or something like that, a Tissot, then yeah, maybe this isn't the strap for you, because hey, those higher levels of watchmaking and those little finer bevels, finer trappings and finishings, like if that level of innovation isn't something that really impresses you or makes you want to spend more money, then yeah, you probably wouldn't want to spend more money on a strap. But if you are somebody who finds those little details, those little things to kind of geek out about, are the things that you really love in terms of just craftsmanship and, you know, tying back to the timelessness of a mechanical timepiece, and, you know, all of the fine details that go with that. If you're somebody that's very detail oriented, there are a lot of beautiful details that you'll enjoy here. So with that said, let me know what you guys all think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please do a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.